I hate
When I
feminism.
see that one
Everything patriarchy, everything misogynistic. If you've seen any of these feminists on TikTok, share your opinions.
I think we're losing the plot. I think we're genuinely losing the plot. We all need to regroup, have a rethink, then come back again. Capiche? Thank you. Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Just Got in Person. This is I, the Jessica Sujun. How's everyone doing today? So it is officially Christmas season. Peak my touch of red. A lot of things is going on. People are gentrificating, people are planning their oblate season, people are planning their December spots, you know. And I was just thinking, I was just going through a recap of the year, thinking of all the wins we can say we got from feminism, and thinking of all the current situations that we're battling. You know, we're still having South Africa crying about gender-based violence. People are putting on profile pictures, and in the same breath we're having the Ochanga case, you know, the 8-year-old girl that died from VVF. And in the same breath we're having a Marachi talking about TikTok feminists being extreme, and then on the other hand people are bashing Chimamanda because they believe she's doing watered down feminism, and everybody's just talking and everybody's just fighting and everybody's just going back and forth, and I'm gonna be the one to say it. It is exhausted. I am exhausted. If you are not exhausted, that's fine. I am very exhausted. I am tired of the back and forth. I've had it up to here. We need to stop and start thinking. You know, hold on, before you say, oh no, Jessica is not supporting the feminism. No, that's not the case. The case is, I began thinking to myself, can we just decide to provide solutions to women empowerment without including men, or even responding to hateful comments from them? Can we just promote women education, women empowerment, women's support, women's causes, women's businesses, and just ignore every other thing? Because now it's seeming like we are all, as a community of feminists, we are being distracted from the main purpose. Is there too much noise? Let's start talking about it. Let us get ready to dissect, debunk, and discuss the concept that is gender wars. You see, this is the real villain. This is the real monster. Structural patriarchy, a set of systems and beliefs that have been reinforced over centuries that is harmful to both women and men. But the reason why I'm starting women is because even though this harmful propaganda harms both genders, women are the tip of the sword, meaning that women are more disadvantaged in the society. What are ways by which women are disadvantaged? I'm going to explain for the people in the back. There are usually 4 pillars of structural patriarchy, but I'm not going to bore you guys all the details. I'm just going to mention some quick ones that we can talk about very quickly. Let's talk legally and institutionally. Women in most parts of the world have not been able to inherit or own land. You are looking at me like, oh, how is that possible? It's very possible. I have a friend who went household hunting with her elderly widowed mother, and they went from pillar to post, and each agent that they met kept asking them to bring a male that they can speak to, because why they go follow woman talk. Yeah, the daughter had to go and bring her age mates, as in her guy friend that is her age, to speak on behalf of her and her elderly mother. Should we talk about inheritance and how most cultures in Nigeria, women cannot inherit their father's property? That is just laws affecting land, yeah? Let's talk about how women have long been denied voting, long been denied military roles, public office, leadership positions till today. A woman cannot be a president in your country, this country, Nigeria. Even America, the supposed land of the free. Yeah, we didn't get it. Till today, women are still underrepresented, in parliament and cabinets. And do you know what happens when women are underrepresented in places that laws are passed? It means that laws that favor women will not be passed, and laws that don't favor women will likely be passed. Yeah, man, just can't come again. How can laws that favor women not be passed? How can laws that favor women be passed? Marital rape is still legal in this country. Marital rape. Do you know what marital rape is? For those of you that are not used to intellectual conversations, please, this one is not for you. Marital rape is when your husband sleeps with you against your consent in your marriage. Yeah. And I'm not even going to give the typical case scenario where you do not want to engage and then he engages you against your will. I'm going to give a scenario that happens to many women where they just pushed a baby out of their vagina. The other still wants to have sex with them as they are tired, depressed, and bleeding. You literally cannot do anything about it. You cannot go to patient and say, I want to jail my elbow. You can't do that. Nobody is going to listen to you because it is not a crime. Should we go into how wage discrimination is still very much legal? We are in a company with your male counterparts. Both of you are the same age in the same job, and he will earn more than you simply because you're a woman. There is no other thing. Both of you have the same qualifications, same work ethic, and he will earn more than you. That is what we're talking about when we say laws that don't favor women are still currently being passed. Or should we even talk about Somalia, where we're still fighting child marriage? Let me not even go too far, because y'all are not even ready for all those conversations. Or we can also dive into social or cultural patriarchy, where we actually face directly the effects of patriarchy on a woman. We're talking clothing, we're talking speech, we're talking marriage and motherhood. I'm going to dip my toe into this section and talk about how women's clothing is still being equated to their respectability. Yes. How you see a woman on the road who doesn't dress according to how society expects her to dress, and she's shamed, ridiculed, harassed, sometimes even assaulted for that reason. I don't know if you guys saw that video of that guy that went to Ajah markets and poured water on a girl's head in the name of she's dressed inappropriately. They said it was a skit, but I want you guys to understand the harmful rhetoric that it propagates. It propagates the rhetoric that if you see a woman that is not dressed properly or not dressed to how the society believes she should dress, you should assault her, you should harass her, you should ridicule her openly. That's a very harmful thing to propagate. Very, very harmful. So we are still being policed on our dressing. We are still being policed on our manner of speech. There's some places that women go to, there's some meetings that women go to, village meetings, where you're not even allowed to speak. You don't talk too much. Let's just let the men do the talking. Just what I'm saying. Or should we talk about the shame and pressure that comes with marriage and motherhood? As a woman, you have to get married at a particular time. If you don't get married at a particular time, you'll be shamed. When you actually do get married, you have to give birth at a particular time. Or should we talk about emotional socialization, where women are trained to always be supportive and accommodating and calm and empathetic to everyone and anyone around them? How women are always expected to cater to everyone's feelings but theirs. Whether she's your boss, your sister, your mother, a random woman on the streets, she's supposed to just always be nice and caring and a simpleton. This is where conversations like, why are you always frowning, come from, because you're expected as a woman to always be positive, to always be receiving, accommodating, hospitable. Should we talk about beauty standards? The way beauty standards are so heavy on women. This one has been something from time immemorial. If you go through the beauty trends for men and women from the beginning of time, it has always been heavily on women. Women's appearance influences their opportunities, how they are treated in society, whether they are regarded or not. We have painted it to be pretty privileged, something that is actually cute. How you use they call it womanly privilege to get what you want. It's a lie. That just basically means that women that are not conventionally attractive will be treated opposites. They'll be shamed and they'll be disregarded. So while it works for you, the pretty lady, it doesn't work for every woman. And something that doesn't work for every woman is not in the favor of women. Or should we address patriarchal violence and how that is the tool used to uphold and reinforce patriarchy into society? How we have 1 in 3 women experiencing violence from an intimate partner in their lifetime. How we have 72.5% of DV victims being female in just year 2024. How we see 65% of intimate partner homicide. 65% of those victims are women. When you promote a culture or a system where one gender is told to always dominate, to always be assertive, to always be in charge, and you're not giving that gender an outlet for their emotions, that is going to turn to violence. And that is what patriarchy breeds. It brings violence. The only way to make sure that this system is maintained is to create a sense of insecurity in the society. I can't go there. What if I am raped? Oh, I can't do this. Oh, what if I am beaten? Oh, I can't talk too much. What if someone slaps me? These are the things violence upholds, maintains, promotes patriarchy. So, as I said, patriarchy doesn't only affect women, it also affects men. How does it affect men, you may be asking? Relax, I'm going to tell you. This system teaches men that their worth is tied to how tough they are, how strong they are, how much they do not talk. As a man, why are you going to talk too much? As a man, why are you going to do this? As a man, why are you going to do that? That much pressure associated with masculinity creates emotional isolation, bottled up stress, untreated trauma, difficulty forming genuine relationships. And that's why you see in today's society that lots of men don't know each other past half a chairman, half a ogre. Lots of men cannot sit with each other and talk to each other about how they feel, about what they think, about what exactly is bothering them on a deeper level that surpasses football and PS5. Another way patriarchy actually impacts men is the pressure to be providers. You see, when the gender roles were created, women were given caregivers, nurturers, and men were given providers, breadwinners, hunters, protectors. Let's stick to the providers, yeah? This created a rhythm whereby men's value are tied to how much they earn. That is, you are more of a man when you earn more. The less you earn, the less man you are. A lot of shame goes to being a poor man. It creates financial pressure. It creates anxiety. It creates shame tied to unemployment. Yes. Another one that is actually very, very important is how the system encourages male violence in males, because you cannot breed boys to be aggressive. You cannot give boys games and toys that promote aggression and anger and hate. And you cannot teach them to not have an emotional outlet and not produce people that favor violence, people that solve conflict physically. Do you understand what I'm saying? What does this create in the long run? Male on male violence, gang involvement, higher homicide rate, shorter life expectancy of men, and to top everything off, the stigma that comes with men being weak or expressive creates higher suicide rates in men. Do you see how this system that we're reinforcing every day in every sector does not benefit anybody and is actually the common enemy? Frederick Douglass was the only man in the room at the Seneca Falls Convention circa 1848. That's actually the first women's rights convention in the United States, where they were discussing women's right to vote. Many people at the time believed that women demanding the right to vote was too radical. You see that we've come a long way, ladies. Anyway, Frederick stood up and he said, "Truth is of no color. I will uphold women's rights with all the power I possess." He actually argued that denying women the right to vote is the same injustice as denying black men the right to vote. And you could argue, oh, this man actually only cared about women's rights because he could relate. And this follows the argument that men do not understand the sufferings of women except they are impacted by it in one way or the other. Right? Wrong! This man owned one of the most influential black newspapers then, called the North Star. And in those newspapers, he published arguments for women equality, highlighted speeches for women reformers, criticized laws restricting women, and this paper reached thousands of people. It got to a point where abolitionists were telling him to stop. Like, Mr. Man, stop it. You're dividing attention. You are for black people and black people alone. And this man said, and I quote, "I am for women's rights today and always." Even after the 15th Amendment was passed, that is, black men were now allowed to vote, and a lot of male allies faded away in the background. Frederick Douglass was still there, fighting and campaigning for women's rights. Can you see that it's very much possible to be a male ally? You must realize that what made Frederick Douglass a real good male ally is that while he was doing all this, he was able to not make the point about himself or his goodwill or how good of a man he was. He was able to just shine light on the women, especially the women leaders. He was able to take accountability to the women leaders of those women groups that he supported. He was able to decenter his ego and listen to them and their plans and carry and support it. That is one of the best ways you can be a male ally. Now, your next question would be, oh, but Jessica, if both men and women are experiencing the adverse effects of patriarchy, why is it that men are going to be called male allies? Or why is it that men have to be allies of the feminist movement? Well, I'll tell you why. The feminist movement came because women get the shorter part of the yardstick when it comes to like oppression or when it comes to like the adverse impact of the patriarchy. We are the ones being controlled, we are the ones being owned, we are the ones being possessed, we are the ones being limited. Do you understand? So while you guys have your problems, fine and good, you guys are still on the privileged end of the stick. So now listen attentively at how you can actually advocate for feminism. Practical ways you can advocate for women's rights. It's like the black man and the white man. You're going to be told exactly how the white men are told on how to use your privilege to favor the black man, aka a woman. Challenging hiring and promotion bias. You are in the board, right? And they're hiring people at your company. They're hiring. And you see that it's just man. Even though there are good women there with qualifications. You challenge the norm. You ask, why don't we hire Miss so? Why don't we pick this woman? Her credentials are good. Her work ethic is good. What's the problem? Challenge it. Demand answers where you see inequality. Push for anti-harassment protocols in the workspaces that are actually enforced. What do I mean? I mean that you're in your company, you're in your organization, you're in your political space, whatever it may be, and you actually push against harassment. A report that comes to your desk, so manager touched this person inappropriately or spoke to this woman inappropriately. You push for it, you enforce the rules, you suspend the person, you fire the person. You actually are the forefront of pushing against harassment in the workplace. You can speak up in male-only spaces. Because you are a male, you actually get to sit face-to-face with misogynists, with men that are actively fighting against women's rights, with men that have evil intentions. What can you do? Speak to them. You see them talking something that is against women, you can actively challenge it. Tell them, what are you talking about? Call for a change in those spaces, because it's in those boys-only clubs that serious decisions that will harm women are being discussed, and you are privy to such information. Don't just sit down and look. A woman comes up and is like, oh, I think we should put this gender equality policy in place. You should be in support of it. You should not be part of the bandwagon. I was like, oh my god, why? Is it necessary? This is too woke, this is too stressful, this to this. Women are coming again. Model healthy masculinity. Our generation is currently the generation that is going to become fathers, that are going to become fathers next. So how should you treat your boy child? How should you train him? Should you train him the same way you were trained, where you were able to voice out how you were feeling? You didn't feel safe enough to let out your emotions, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, whether it's happiness. Should you also suppress the empathetic side of your son? Should you teach your son that he's to dominate and never to listen and care and tend and be in touch with his soft side? No. Do the exact opposite. Educate yourself. Stop asking women, oh, what is feminism? Oh, what does it mean? What is intersectional feminism? Okay, what does it mean that patriarchy is a... That's even why this video is here. This video is here to educate you, but I promise you, this is the last education you're going to get from me. Go read books, listen to podcasts, listen to people. If 10,000 women are crying about something, I promise you, they're not faking it. Pick up a book and read so you can be more involved. It's annoying to be asked about something that I've already previously and repeatedly discussed. The women are angry, and rightfully so. The radical feminists believe that sexual violence is not random. It is patterned, it is gendered, and it is used for the social subordination and fear of women. You see, when you live in a patriarchal society like the African continent, it is extremely hard to not be angry when every man or even woman that you come across wants to police your actions, your words, your dressing, your behavior. They believe that they have some sort of ownership over you. It is extremely exhausting, and the anger is very valid. But where my critique of the radical feminism movement will come in is that the anger, like I said, is misdirected. We are spending too much time and effort retorting, coming for people, doing clapbacks, alright? Both for women, both for men, anybody that disagrees with us, we attack. We attack. That is not going to do anything for us. If we actually want to push the movement forward, we need to rethink on the plot. We need to remember the plots. What many of you fail to understand is that this gender war era is an online phenomenon. It is not creating actual impact most of the time. It is mostly algorithm driven, entertainment content, and just like discourse for virality. A lot of people just set up their camera and mention women just so that it can go far. Many of them are not actually doing anything on the ground. Many of them are not actually helping women in real life. I'm of the full support that any voice to the cause is a good voice, fully. But at this point, it's seeming like the voices are not just for the cause, but they are talking to everybody. They're replying everybody that is against the cause. And those are like what I said in the beginning, distractions. You have energy, put it into laws, policies, institutions, economic access, education of women, bodily autonomy. If we're talking practical ways, give a girl a scholarship, support women's businesses, mentor a young girl, educate girls on coding, tech, anything that can help them expand their knowledge. Rewrite a woman's CV, start a small community that teaches financial literacy. Use your videos to enlighten women and younger girls on how to decenter the patriarchy and the males, and focus on building themselves. That is the bane of feminism. I really hope somebody out there got my point and my words are not twisted or misconstrued. We are finally come to the end of this video. I am so happy I was finally able to get this out. Trust me, the amount of times this video has sat on the shelf or has been deleted and redone is just annoying. Like, I'm ready to just on this camera and go like no ending. But that's not possible. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked, please make sure to give it a like, a thumbs up, make sure to comment, make sure to share, make sure to send to your friends and family that need to like listen and remember the plot. Make sure to do something for a woman today, whether you're a man or a woman. Make sure to do something for a woman today. See ya in the next one, I beg. Oh,